You've been lied to, not maliciously, not deliberately, but consistently, repeatedly, and with beautiful illustrations in nature documentaries that made it worse. The lie goes like this. Some animals mate for life. They find their partner, they bond, they stay together through every season, every migration, every hardship. They are the proof that true love exists in nature, that monogamy is real, that somewhere in the animal kingdom, creatures figured out what humans are still struggling with. The lie isn't that these animals bond for life. They do. The lie is what happens when nobody's watching. Because when researchers started attaching DNA testing to the most famously faithful animals on Earth, the penguin, the swan, the albatross, the wolf, the prairie vole, what they found was not what anyone expected. Infidelity. Systematic, widespread, biologically strategic infidelity. In species we had spent decades holding up as the gold standard of animal devotion, and the reason why completely changes how you understand love, loyalty, and what monogamy actually is. Let's start with the penguin. Because the penguin is probably the most famous symbol of animal romance on the planet. They waddle, they're adorable, they find a mate, they bow to each other in an elaborate courtship ritual, they take turns keeping the egg warm in Antarctic conditions that would kill most other creatures. They are, by every visible metric, relationship goals. Then researchers started doing paternity testing on penguin chicks. In some penguin colonies, up to 15% of chicks are not the offspring of the male caring for them. The devoted partner standing on that egg in -40-degree winds, protecting it with his body heat, risking his own survival, he is in a statistically meaningful number of cases not the biological father. He doesn't know this. The female knew exactly what she was doing, and the reason she did it is not romantic betrayal. It's genetic insurance. Female penguins in long-term pair bonds will sometimes seek out the highest quality male available during the brief fertile window, a male with better genes, stronger immune markers, more dominant traits, and then return to their bonded partner to raise the offspring together. She gets the best of both worlds, a devoted co-parent and superior genetics for her chicks. From an evolutionary standpoint, this is not cheating, it is a masterclass in reproductive strategy. Now let's talk about swans. Because if penguins are relationship goals, swans are relationship mythology. The image of two swans forming a heart shape with their necks is one of the most reproduced symbols of eternal love in human culture. Swans do form long-term pair bonds. They do stay together across multiple breeding seasons. What they also do, documented extensively across multiple swan populations, is engage in what researchers call extra-pair copulations, at rates that quietly horrified the ornithologists who first measured them. Male swans in particular will pursue mating opportunities outside the pair bond with a persistence that the romance mythology simply doesn't account for. The long-term bond is real. The exclusivity is not. And here's what makes this scientifically fascinating rather than just scandalous. The pair bond serves a completely different evolutionary function than the extra-pair mating. The bond provides stability, cooperative parenting, territorial defense, shared resource access. The extra-pair mating serves genetic diversity and quality. They are two separate biological systems running simultaneously. Monogamy and infidelity are not opposites in nature, they are partners. Here is the detail that changes everything. When scientists study the brain chemistry of animals that form pair bonds, prairie voles are the most studied because they are genuinely one of the most monogamous mammals on Earth. They find something extraordinary. The pair bond is maintained by the same neurochemicals that drive addiction: oxytocin, vasopressin, dopamine. The bond doesn't feel like a choice because neurochemically it isn't one. It feels like need, like home, like the specific person-shaped absence that appears when they're gone. Prairie voles that lose their bonded partner show behavioral profiles that look almost identical to withdrawal symptoms in addiction research. They stop eating, they become socially withdrawn, they show elevated stress hormones for extended periods. The bond is real, it is chemically enforced, it is not metaphorical. And it coexists, in many species including prairie voles, with occasional extra-pair mating that the bond chemistry doesn't prevent because it was never designed to. The brain runs two programs simultaneously: bond maintenance and genetic optimization. They don't cancel each other out. They run in parallel. Let's talk about wolves, because wolves and the concept of the alpha pair have become deeply embedded in popular culture. The dominant male and female who lead the pack, mate exclusively, raise their young together. The reality is more nuanced and more interesting. Wolf pair bonds are genuine and strong. The alpha pair does typically mate preferentially. What field research has also documented is that in larger wolf packs with multiple adults, extra pair mating occurs, and that subordinate females will sometimes mate with males outside the primary pair structure when the opportunity presents itself. The pack's genetic diversity benefits, the offspring still get raised cooperatively. The bond between the primary pair remains functionally intact. Nature is not running a morality system, it is running a survival optimization system, and sometimes survival optimization looks nothing like the stories we tell about it. Here is what all of this actually means. The animals we hold up as proof that true love exists in nature are not lying to us. Their bonds are real. The devotion is genuine. The co-parenting, the loyalty to a specific individual across time and hardship, that is all completely real, and it is remarkable. What they are also doing is something that sits uncomfortably alongside the romance narrative. They are optimizing simultaneously for emotional stability and genetic quality because evolution built them to do both. And here is the uncomfortable mirror that holds up to human experience. Humans are animals. We have the same pair bonding neurochemistry as prairie voles. We have the same genetic optimization pressures as penguins. We have spent thousands of years building cultural and moral systems around monogamy, precisely because the biological pull toward both genetic optimization and pair bonding exists in us simultaneously, and those two drives don't always point in the same direction. The animals aren't failing at monogamy. They're succeeding at something more complex than monogamy. They're maintaining bonds that provide stability, cooperation, and devoted parenting, while simultaneously, in some cases, pursuing genetic quality through pathways outside that bond. Two systems, running in parallel, exactly as evolution designed them to. The penguin standing on that egg in the Antarctic wind loves his partner. The bond is real. The neurochemistry is real. The devotion across seasons is real. He is also, in some percentage of cases, raising a chick that carries another male's genes. And the female who arranged that outcome did so not from cruelty or indifference, but from a biological imperative so old it predates the concept of loyalty by millions of years. So the next time someone shows you a photograph of two swans forming a heart with their necks and says, "See, true love exists in nature," they're right. It does. It just also comes with a behavioral footnote that the greeting card industry has never been particularly eager to print. Love is real, bonds are real, and nature, in its typically elegant and slightly uncomfortable way, found a way to have both, the bond and the optimization, without asking anyone's permission, because it never does. The penguin standing on that egg, the swans on the lake, the wolves running together, they're all telling you the same thing. Love is real. And love is complicated, and nature built it that way on purpose, and now you know why.